You have a new love coming your way. I know that you can feel this shift coming. It feels like something very big is about to happen and something is about to change for you. Your person has been warned that this connection was going to be very spiritual. And you are still healing from your father wounds. You may have had a father that was absent or that was there but wasn't emotionally there. And your father may have never told you that you were beautiful, or maybe never told you that he was proud of you. Um, and maybe you've just always felt like you were alone, even when you were in relationships. Um, and not only do you have father wounds, but you also have mother wounds too, right? Looking at your parents' relationship made you not want to be in any relationship. That's trauma, right? Seeing all the toxicity, the fighting, um, the distance, and somehow you were able to come out of that and love yourself. But it also caused you to be super independent, hyper independent, because you had to do everything for everybody, right? And you had to self soothe. Um, Most importantly, you had to be there for yourself. You didn't receive that love and that nurture that you should have received. So, as a result of that, when you got into relationships, you felt like you were always chasing love and feeling like you needed to be perfect. You felt like you were never enough, right? You might be feeling grief. You might have been crying lately and feeling lost. But this is because you're having clarity about your parents and you're letting go of that grief that you've been hanging on to for so long. So it's okay to cry. It's okay to let go of that grief and in order to move on. Um, and also, you always end up getting with people that you are better than, for lack of a better way of saying it. But you never thought that you were better than anybody, right? As I said, your parents, your father or your mother or both never told you how amazing you are or how beautiful you are. So when you hear it from people, it doesn't really stick to you. Even though they mean it and they see it in you, you never saw it for yourself. So when you get in relationships, people put you on a pedestal and they think that you think you're better than them because they see you as superior. So they then project those feelings onto you. Um, just all unbeknownst to you. You've never put yourself on a pedestal. You've never looked at yourself as better than anybody. If anything, it was the opposite, right? You've always related more to those in inferior positions, right? Um, but you always end up attracting broken, toxic people, and you just end up connecting with them. Um, but you haven't been speaking up about your truth and you have a lot to say. So lately you might be feeling like you just have a lot of things to share with the world, because people have misjudged you. The people that you have been with are unwilling to do the work. Um, they're unevolved and they're lazy to change. Um, and they don't want to grow. They don't want the help. People might say things about themselves, but it's really actually how they feel. Or they might say things about you, but it's really how they feel about themselves. And then you try to warn them, and that's why they come back to you because they know that you are authentic and that you are real. And you do the opposite of what most people do. So you go against the grain. You don't care what anybody else does. You actually rather not do what everybody else does because you know that the path that others take is not always the right one. You give solid advice to people, but they just choose to not take it. And like I said, they're left in the dark, and they're left with thoughts of you because you are the only real thing that that they can that they resonate with. But as you heal the wounds from your mother and father wounds, you'll be more confident. You'll gain wisdom into your life, and the distorted views of your mother and your father and their relationship will be healed. You are an ascended master, and nobody compares to you. You've just been bound by culture, belief, tradition in this lifetime, but you know that you know who you are on the inside, right? And it doesn't matter what race, what culture you're from, how you were raised, you are who you are. Your soul is your soul. And it has no limits, it has no cultural bounds. So don't let the way that you were raised, the things that you were taught, stop you from your truest potential. Because just remember that those lessons, those false realities that were presented to us as children, those were presented to our parents as well. And those are generational lies. And they're just, they exist to just be obstacles for us that we need to break through. So break that generational curse by breaking through cultural barriers and unlearning the things that have been brainwashing you your whole life. It's important for us to think for ourselves in a world that just is completely and utterly brainwashed, right? One person most definitely can make a difference. So you speaking your truth will then cause a trickle effect that will affect others, and you actually are able to make a global impact on humanity, but only if you believe that you can. I know a lot of people think that one person can't make a difference, that their voice doesn't make a difference, but imagine if everybody felt like that in the world and nobody spoke up. Like, it really just takes one. So be that leader in your life, be that leader for yourself, and speak your truth. And don't let anybody taint your perceptions, because you know what's real and you've been here before, hopefully for the last time.